Hello everyone, and welcome to more Bolt Action chat with myself and Charlie from Warlord Games. And we're going to be checking out some of the latest and greatest, so some upcoming and some recent releases.
And some recent releases,
yeah.
yes, yeah.
So I'm going to just let you tell me what you're going to
Cool, let's
look at.
Where to start, I suppose. I think we'll leave some of the more exciting ones to the end, and we'll just get through some of I say less exciting. They're still very exciting, but new plastics is always something we get really excited about. So we'll do the white metal, and then we'll go into the plastics afterwards.
Okay, sure.
So so just some nice two little blisters we've got sort of out, or it's on certain the Verge releases. A nice unit of US MPs.
So let's see if I can get them on a camera here, nice and close. That looks pretty good. I can line them up that way.
Yeah, beautifully painted as well.
They are, aren't they? Who's your painter for these guys?
It's come out of our studio. So one of our three fantastic studio painters. I'm not entirely sure who's painted these ones, but I only just managed to sneak them out of the studio before heading over.
Oh, so they don't know they're here.
Well, they kind of knew I was in there, and we were just filling a bag full of foam with some lovely shiny models. But it depends whether you can get in there before Paul sees you and get out before Paul catches you, as it were. Otherwise it's slap wrists, or usually I've got to sign like a chit in blood to say if any of this comes back damaged or missing, it's my life for the models.
Well, compliments to your painters, because what I find is a good studio painting team really defines the defines the aesthetic of a model range, and Bolt Action has this really cool sort of well highlighted, very well defined models in your painting set. So your painters do a fantastic job every time I see anything coming out from them. And
it really brings the character out, I think, especially with these white metal miniatures, where it is all about the character of the model. Because it's interesting with your white metal against plastic, because with white metal you've got the ability to create a significant pose that tells a story, whereas with plastic obviously gives you the options as the hobbyist, as the guy building them, to create your own. So it's nice, and then obviously the paintwork goes onto it, and it really just sets it off.
So I'll be very careful with those.
That's fine. And then we've got these lovely US characters.
Do we know who these are?
We do.
You just can't remember.
But I can't remember, unfortunately. And I'll get flogged for that when I get back to the office. But again, beautiful sculpts.
I love this guy with a 30 cal.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant. And I've really enjoyed seeing all the winter uniforms coming out as well, because like I've said in other videos to do with Bolt Action and wargaming in general, a lot of people focus on Normandy, and Normandy's all that summer uniform, and it's all very nice and khaki and stuff, and then they switched to this M43 uniform, and it has a darker look to it. It's a bit different aesthetic wise, and then when you see them well painted like that, it's like, no, that looks sweet.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah,
it's such a change from a Normandy period.
It's sticking on that theme of sort of winter troops. We've recently done the winter British, which is something we've not ventured into previously. So these guys are lovely. I don't know if it's worth picking out some specifics, but saying that, I think it would be difficult to pick your favorite sculpt out. So if I just pass over a few of them there.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how the coats have turned out.
Yeah, the coats are lovely, aren't they?
The great coats are a very iconic sort of piece of kit for every army.
Yes,
you know it's winter when the big coats come out.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
And these all look really fantastic, and just again superb paint jobs all around.
A lovely one there with
with a cloak.
Chef firing his rifle with his cloak.
I wonder if you would have potential to paint that as a captured Zeltband, perhaps.
Yeah,
a liberated Zeltband, I should say.
Yes, yeah. And you could use him as a sniper as well because of his pose and stuff. So
you could take the scope from the plastic kit and
by all means,
put that on there, because he would look like a fantastic sniper. Really, really good. You got a Bren gunner over there.
There is, of course, yeah.
I do love me a Bren gunner. such a nice.
It's again a very iconic piece of kit as well.
Yeah, really, really good. And it's nice to see that your painters also understand that British webbing was not tan.
Yeah.
Because the amount of times in my reenactment group where someone's turned up with a fresh paratrooper uniform and you're like, something wrong with your webbing, and it's like, why? It's all brand new. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah. No, I think the guys do take a lot of care in the way that they do put these put paint on the models, but not just that, but the guys that are sculpting them as well. Just there's definitely an attention to detail without losing the character of the models. I think you can sometimes go a little bit too far, concentrating on the exact length and width of webbing and stuff like that. But
what I always thought, and I don't know if you're going to take offense to this as a warlord staffer or not, but I always imagine your own in-house range of minis sort of following along the lines of the Commando comic aesthetic.
Yes,
it's a little bit bulkier. It's more of the heroic proportions,
definitely.
And as long as the kit looks right, which it does, you have a very characterful mini out there.
And that's the idea. And I think that it comes back to you strip it all back to the rule sets. We're very much a company of producing games that are fun.
Yeah.
It might not always suit the more competitive gamers because generally we're a being pretzels company. If we're playing games in the office, it's fun.
Yeah.
And we'll tweak the rules whilst we're playing because it might fit the atmosphere of that game. And I think the same rolls into the way we produce miniatures as well, that they're meant to be characterful models, not direct historical representations. They're meant to have that flavour and feel of a, like I say, a heroic occasion. So that's
it feels like every soldier in your army matters. And that's a lovely way to look at it. Every guy is so well sculpted, and then when you look at them on the website, they're all so well painted and presented. You just think, those are my guys. When I have them in the box in front of me and I've painted them up, it's like, those are my guys.
Yeah, well, those lovely Fallschirmjäger that you've had donated, where the gentleman's gone and named each man underneath the base. I think it's lovely to do, and it's definitely, I said, it's something that I'm going to go and do when I get home. I'm with my Gebirgsjäger. I think they're all going to get names now because it just gives them that personality, doesn't it? You think, so, oh no, when you're playing, then you think a lot more about what you're going to do with them when you know who they are, and like I say, that they engender like a real personality, in your mind when you put them down on the table. So that's the idea. It's meant to be fun and characterful. So moving into the plastics. So later on this year, we have Plastic Winter. Germans.
These look superb.
Yeah, there's going to be loads of options again on the sprues.
Yeah. These just look fantastic. I like the sort of little unshanky that this guy has.
Yeah.
Is that a little eagle on it as well? It is. So it has the cap badge on it too. That is absolutely brilliant. Again, like, I have adored all the winter stuff that you guys have been putting out there.
Yeah.
It's really, really nice. I think it adds more character.
I do as well. I think, like I said, maybe, possibly because we don't see it a lot on the tabletop.
Yeah.
Winter troops can only really be used on, winter boards and so on and so forth. But we tend to try and base them in a sense that it looks like they're not in heavy snow. They're in, so that you can pop them on a grass mat and play them on a grass table and still imagine that it's cold, just not covered in snow.
Exactly.
But yeah, there's tons of options. And you see we've got quite a few of them made up here. It really should give you an idea of just how many different poses can be achieved just from the sprues that'll be in the box.
Yeah.
And follows the same suit as all the more recent plastic kits that we've done.
Yeah.
That there will be lots of options. There'll be some arms with weapons already mounted. There'll be a few where you've got free hands that you can pop the stick grenades in, or maps and the Panzerfaust and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But I think it's a nice hint to the future as well that we're not going to stop producing new plastic infantry sets. And I think it's nice to see us doing something different rather than just more non-winter troops, standard infantry. It's nice to be doing something a little bit left field, as it were.
It really lets you have a play with all the different stuff out there, because although the war only lasted, what, 5-6 years, something like that, the amount of equipment that was put together, made, produced, and then a lot of it used.
Yeah.
And you have, as a historical miniatures company, you have so much to look through and decide on. It's like we were saying during our little campaign book talk as well, that you just don't know. You're not running out of places to go. You're just trying to choose which one to go to next.
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
But the winter has been the winter stuff's been a very good move, and it's just brought so much to it.
Yeah,
as well. And even from a historical sense, playing a winter army opens up other options for you.
Definitely.
Because there was stuff that only arrived in certain points of the war that you could then start using.
That's right, yeah.
So, yeah, it's been great. Now that we've done the infantry, we have a very particular little kit. A vehicle that's very dear to my heart, and a vehicle that's incredibly dear to my significant other's heart, because she's fallen in love with this vehicle.
It's difficult not to, though, as well.
It really is difficult not to.
Before I started to work for Warlord Games, I'd got into bolt action, so probably about sort of 4 years ago. And the website ran a promotion called Mad March Hetzer. And that's when I picked up my first one of these. In the original sort of resin form. But it's lovely to see.
Look at that. Isn't that just the most charming little military vehicle you've ever seen?
It's fantastic.
And again, beautifully painted, of course. And do we know the painter for this, or was it
I believe these were all Derek.
Mm-hmm.
I do, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Derek did all of these.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the most recent one being the
unusual
one, the flak version.
So you have. This is an upcoming release. This is the upcoming plastic Hetzer, obviously. And up until this point, Warlords only played with options in a kit.
Yeah.
There's not been many. There's been the Panzer III.
Yeah.
I think the Stug had options to do the 105
two barrel
or the
options.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And you had the King Tiger, which had the 2 turrets, as I've discussed in an unboxing. But this is the first one I've seen where you guys have really went to town on getting extra for the
options. Yeah.
And as we were talking outside of the video, the Zug box, which will be coming, will be very interesting.
Definitely.
I want to see what people can do with magnets and changing bits out.
Yeah.
Because we have the regular gun, so that's your 75mm.
Yeah.
That's one option. We then have this, which is the Flammenwerfer version, which has that big, thick barrel with the flame projector in it.
Yeah. Everybody loves a vehicle flamer.
Yeah. I can imagine that this is a bit painful to people.
Yeah.
So you have those, but then you have something really, really out of left field. You have this. And I've never seen this
How
before.
Cool is that?
It is utterly amazing looking. I have never seen this particular variant before in my life.
I'm sure we'll have a number of people posting in the comments saying, well, there's no rules for it in the German book, or there's no rules for it in the core rule book. Well, you'll be very pleased to know that in the Zug and also in the single kit when it comes out afterwards, there will be the stat cards for all the vehicles that we've been doing recently, and there'll be a stat card for each version.
Yeah.
So the rules for said flak Hetzer will be on the stat card, ready for you to go out the box. So with the Zug, for example,
you could do one of each if you want.
Definitely build all 3.
Yeah.
And have the rules sort of there at hand to be able to field sort of all 3 on the table.
But this is something I want to point out in the kit as well, because you have the 3 variants available in the box.
Yeah.
And I want to see what people can do to switch out the upper hulls to allow them to use every part in the kit, because I always find that it's a terrible waste sometimes.
It is sometimes
when you're not experienced with magnets or thinking, planning your builds ahead, and you realize that you're now about to throw out half a vehicle, and you're like,
yeah, it is painful.
It is. Yeah.
I suppose that's to a degree that's where the Zug for this type of tank really comes into its own.
Yeah,
because you're getting 3 in there. For the price of sort of 2.5 at best.
Yeah.
And then you can build all 3 options.
Yeah.
Yes, obviously you're going to have some bits left over from the other kits as you've made each one. But yeah, it's nice. Again, it's lovely to do, you know, and we've got some great releases coming out as the rest of the year rolls on for Bolt Action.
I'm just going to bring in the other painted ones, the regular guns, because look at the paint jobs.
Yeah, the paint jobs. That winter.
That winter one and this one.
And the desert is fantastic. Yeah,
they are so well weathered. They are so beautiful to look at. And the best thing about it is, some people will tell you, "Oh, that's a bit too much weathering and stuff." But for product photography,
oh yeah,
when you have a beautiful, crisp image of that on the website, it just looks amazing.
Definitely. And it gives it that character that we've talked about with the the infantry models. And the beauty of tanks is, you know, you can play a game with an armored platoon now. You know, we've got the tank war supplement as well as some tank war starter sets. Meaning that you can have a game of Bolt Action quite quickly. You put your tanks together, give them a prime, and you can even prime them in a color these days. Wash them, pick out some details, and usually you're good to go. The beauty of a tank is you can constantly go back and, you know, paint some extra weathering on. You might want to put some kill markings on every time, you know, especially you're running a campaign with friends and stuff. Get those kill marks on the side of the tank, or around get the rings around the barrels or something like that. And it just, there's something about, you know, a 28mm scale tank that just, for me, just really gets me going. You know, I love the idea of, you know, big Kursk reenactment and things like that. So
the in-house Warlord kits I've seen recently have really stepped up their game as well.
Definitely.
You guys have a lot of talent working in the background to get all this stuff together.
Yeah.
And clearly, because of that talent, they've also got a lot of passion for what they're doing.
Yeah.
And you can tell that in the kits, because when you open up a Warlord in-house kit, you know that detail is there for a reason, and that, you know, sometimes details can be omitted, but that's just because it's a gaming miniature and you're not looking at the scale model side of things.
Yeah.
And that's where some other companies that come into this market find a bit of a stumbling block, because they don't know that wargamers don't need the scale model level.
No.
And sometimes that can be a bit of a hindrance.
I think we want the detail, but we don't want you
don't need the build time.
Yeah, the build time. That's it. Yeah. And that's part. You know, that's part of the hobby for those. You know, for the scale modelers.
Yeah.
But we want to be able to build a beautiful kit and get it on the table, so we can play some games with it. And I think, you know, we talked about the Marder off camera.
Yeah.
I picked up the Marder Zug, and normally I get through the first tank and think, oh, I'm going to build another two. With the Marder, I was like, oh, I'll build another two, and I was straight into it. It was the quickest 3 tanks I've ever built.
Yeah.
Because I just did one after the next. And then the extra little details where it comes with the extra shells and stuff that you can pop in the basket at the back, and with the crew that you can pop on the Marder is really nice. And you'll see the little tank commander with his head popping out of the that first one that you showed.
Out of the ambush one,
yeah. You know, he's got great character about him. You know, there's some lovely sort of expression on his face there, and again, fantastic paint job in putting in a bit of evening shade on his chin and his cheeks. So yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's lovely when we've got some new sort of plastic kits to talk about.
Yeah, especially when vehicles come along, because I'm always throwing the critical eye at it.
Yeah, no, and it's good, and I think we appreciate a critical eye over these kits, and obviously we'll do an unboxing, or you'll do an unboxing at a later date. Once we've got the production, but it won't be long before this is on the shelves.
Yeah.
And I'll probably get in trouble saying this, but we're sort of hinting back to the plastic infantry. I know we've got at least another 3 plastic infantry kits to come this year.
Very nice.
Some quite sort of theatre specific, and some rehashes of some old kits. So bringing some of those old infantry kits back up to the standard of the new plastic Warlord infantry sets, and
it's a good thing to revisit some of the kits as well, because as you bring in new talent into your sculpting parts and your casting and stuff like that, your ability to put out a new kit or a good kit as well just increases and increases.
Oh yeah, you know, we wouldn't revisit it just for the sake of it. It's the idea is to revisit it and make it better.
Yeah,
and I think there's no question when you look at the likes of the Waffen SS and the British Airborne, the US Airborne, even when we go back to the US Marines, there's a significant increase in quality in those kits as time goes on. Technology changes. Like I say, we get new talent in, which have just got an eye for a different type of detail. It's nice to go back then and give that love to some of the older kits to bring them up to standard with the new ones.
I always find when the was it maybe the German Grenadiers, when they first came out, I think that was the first kit I got my hands on from you guys that had the like the weapon already onto one arm.
Yes, yeah.
And I thought, after having done the Russian army in here, I thought, oh, they know, they understand now, definitely. And this is a real step forward.
Yeah.
And I heard so many people saying exactly the same thing. They were like, oh, finally, no more floating gun syndrome, because sometimes it's a bit awkward to get that arm to that arm to match the arms onto the weapon.
And it reduces that build time, which we talked about, which is really important, I think. And then, but to a degree, it gives you a lot more flexibility with the kits, because you can, yes, they may be designed for sort of two arms, but you can always do them with one and sort of gun held up whilst he's checking something in his pack, or he's pulling a map out, or he's got his binoculars, or depending on what sort of feel and character you're trying to put into the model. So there's some lovely, exciting things, and this is literally just a real small sort of snippet of what we have got sort of on the horizon.
It's really interesting, and I'm really glad to see a plastic hats are coming out now, because we recently on the website covered the Panzer 38T and the Marder before that, and like both beautiful kits, really, really nice.
No, definitely.
So it's been good to have you on, just to have a little chat.
An absolute pleasure.
And if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think of the little plastic Hetzer, and hopefully you'll be looking forward to a full unboxing when we get them through. And when we see all the infantry coming in as well. So guys, as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.